This is the Blue Ridge Partners from Winston-Salem. Right now they got an old one called BackUp and Push.
My 11-year-old daughter plays fiddle, and she's learning this song right now. And I'll back her up on guitar to help her give her some rhythm. But I noticed that whenever she gets to the B part, she kind of kicks it into overdrive and starts speeding it up. And I'm just struggling to rein her in a bit and to just lock her down on that timing. But can you blame her? This tune is infectious and just pushes you to speed it up on that B part. And I was familiar with Bill Monroe and Kenny Baker, their version of this song, but I was curious, where did this tune exactly come from? It sounds very different from most bluegrass fiddle songs. And how did it get that strange name?
It actually has a history that finds its source in another very different genre of music.
Enter this man, Jens Bodewalt Lampe, born in 1869.
Now, Lampe was a child prodigy in violin. He actually became the first chair violinist for the Minneapolis Symphony at the age of 16.
However, like most youngsters today, he quickly became captivated by the pop music of its time, the emerging syncopated styles that would soon be called ragtime. By the 1890s, Lampe had moved to Buffalo, New York, where he began leading his own dance bands.
Now, in 1899, Scott Joplin composed and published the tune Maple Leaf Rag. It became a total hit and is probably the biggest ragtime tune known today. Lampe needed his own hit, and this is what he came up with.
Creole Belles as a syncopated two-step, or Cakewalk. The second, or B part of Creole Belles contains that catchy, memorable melody that would later then be adopted and reinterpreted by countless fiddlers. Here's a recording of Creole Belles followed by BackUp and Push. Give it a listen. So as the sheet music and band performances traveled, that catchy second part of Creole Belles began to detach itself from its ragtime origins, and Appalachian and Southern musicians began to pick it up and transform it into a fiddle tune, giving it a new name. Depending on the region, it was titled Rubber Dolly or Rubber Dolly Rag, and of course, BackUp and Push. By the 1920s, the connection to Lampe and Creole Belles was largely lost to the fiddling community, who viewed BackUp and Push and Rubber Dolly as just another traditional anonymous folk tune. In 1929, the first known recording under the title BackUp and Push was made by the Georgia Organ Grinders, a group that included members of the influential Skillet Lickers. This recording firmly established the name and its association with Southern string band music. Then in 1934, the tune became a national hit when a later version by Gid Tanner and the Skillet Lickers was released. This recording became the third best-selling country music record of that year.
This record sold over 1 million copies, a rare feat for any record, let alone an old-time instrumental album.
Following its success in the old-time era, the tune was then adopted and accelerated by the bluegrassers who were picking up steam. Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys took the tune and sped it up even faster. But the version that really cements it with bluegrass fiddlers is Kenny Baker's recording in 1976. Monroe's influence ensured BackUp and Push was a bluegrass classic, while Baker's arrangement cemented the how it should be played with that famous double shuffle or hokum bowing technique, which creates the tune's signature driving, rhythmic sound, and which causes my 11-year-old to slam on the accelerator. So while the Georgia Organ Grinders were the first to record the title, the name itself was probably a piece of musical slang already in use among Southern fiddlers and dancers. There are 3 popular theories on how it got its name. It's possible the name could be referring to the bowing technique of the fiddler, as he or she is pushing the rhythm forward, up and down. Or it could be referring to the terminology used in square dances. It could easily have been a shouted call or instruction for the dancers to execute a specific movement, where dancers might back up from the center and then push forward. And finally, given the popularity of train-related themes in music of the time, think Wabash Cannonball, Train 45, the phrase also evokes the image of a locomotive first backing up, perhaps to couple its cars, before making a big push forward.
Although history knows Jens Bodewalt Lampe for his Ragtime hit, there is another melody he came up with that might be even more famous. In 1914, he published a short piece of music to accompany silent movies, and it's the soundtrack to every silent film robbery ever made. It's known as Pizzicato Mysterioso, or sometimes called Enter the Villain. See if you recognize it. That little piece of theme music would then go on and appear in countless movies, cartoons, and shows. So the next time you hear a bluegrass band go into backup and push, remember you're not just hearing another fiddle tune, you're experiencing a pretty wild train ride through American music history.